Imagine you're at a party with 100 people, and the host brings out 100 slices of pizza. But before anyone can grab a plate, one single guy, let's call him Chad the billionaire, swipes 30 slices for himself, far more than he could ever actually eat. The next 9 guys split 40 slices. That leaves the remaining 90 of you to share the last 30 slices. But it gets worse. The wealthier folks in that group swipe almost all of it, leaving the bottom 50 people in the room to fight to the death over just 2 tiny, cold, greasy slices. That is 25 starving people per slice, while Chad's massive pile slowly rots. Welcome to the United States of America, where this isn't a bad dream, it's our actual macroeconomic reality. We are the Goliath of inequality. A nation where the economic ladder has been stretched so high that the people at the top are booking joyrides to space on a Tuesday afternoon, while the rest of us are trying to survive on the loose change lost in the couch cushions. Let's look at the actual math, because the numbers are delightfully unhinged. According to Federal Reserve data, the wealthiest 10% of Americans now control almost double the wealth of the entire bottom 90% combined. Let that sink in. If you zoom out even further, the 3 richest individuals in America own more wealth than the bottom 50% of the entire country. That's roughly 165 million human beings fighting over the crumbs of those 2 metaphorical slices. But our favorite stat is the CEO to worker pay ratio back in the 1960s. A typical CEO made about 20 times more than their average worker. It was a nice, cozy gap. Today, that ratio has ballooned to over 340 to 1. To put that in perspective, if a modern worker wanted to earn what their CEO makes in a single year, they would have had to start their shift during the Roman Empire and never take a single sick day. We've been trained to believe that if we just hustle harder, we can all buy our own pizza empire. But the game isn't just rigged. The board has been tilted so far back that gravity is doing all the work for the guys at the top. It's time to realize that a society where 3 people hold the keys to half the kingdom isn't a free market. It's just high-tech feudalism with better Wi-Fi.
You will never defeat us. We are everywhere.
Imagine you're at a party with 100 people.
All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises going honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakar Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, rule and teach well, and peace, love, salutations to those that do this work in truth and sincerity. And as you saw in the intro of the video, was a great description of how wealth is distributed here in America, and how, basically the people at the top, which is the Esau Edom, they just rob everybody. Okay. They just rob you blind, and they use laws and lobbyists, and gouging and wage theft, price gouging and wage theft to steal from workers, to monopolize markets, and just to be oppressive. And a greedy, selfish ruler is not a fit ruler. To have a ruler, someone in power ruling over you, and they want all of the wealth of the earth to themselves, when the Lord made this place to be so abundant that everybody can have a small slice. People can have big slices, small slices, and there's still enough for everybody to be satisfied. Okay? Speaking of that, I'm gonna start off with this because her analogy was pigs, right? Which was a great analogy. So we're gonna start off with Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. but gathered unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. All right, so this man, Esau Edom, he cannot be satisfied. All right, so he's never happy with the wealth and power that he accumulates. He always wants more. Even when there's no more to take, he wants more. Okay, and we live in a world where right now the average everyday person, is about to break because they can't afford to live. Okay, and why? That's because this man is stealing everything, and he's using his laws, and we're going to get that in Isaiah 10, right? Which ties in. This man is a damn devil, all right? And he heaps unto him all people for the purpose of enslaving them, okay, to keeping them underfoot. This is what this whole digital system is about. It's because if he can get everybody signed up for this digital system, he can effectively enslave the whole entire world, which is their goal. Okay, and the scriptures say that they're going to accomplish that for a brief moment. All right. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. You see? So these people use lobbyists, okay, and they use different corporate bylaws and things of that nature to pass laws to force you to do things that you would otherwise not do. Like, for instance, this new subscription culture, right? They're coming out with I was telling my rib about this yesterday. They're coming out with a refrigerator, right? For subscription ice. Let's see if I can pull that up. Let's see. A sub. I forgot where I say that. Now, I don't know. I didn't really do much research on it, just giving a disclaimer. But I did come across this stuff, but I don't put it past Esau Edom because, you got to pay, things that used to be free, like, Microsoft Windows, right? I mean, Microsoft Word. That used to come free on your computer. Now it's a subscription for it, right? And there's other, things that this devil is charging subscription for. It's like video games and things of that nature. To get constant payments in. And I know you've heard about the key fob thing with the cars. Now they're charging you a subscription for key fobs, and you have certain apartment complexes that are charging people subscriptions for the fob to their key. And this is the real deal. So, when I came across this, I didn't think it was too far fetched because this is the nature of this devil. But as you're seeing here on the screen, it says new refrigerators should charge monthly subscription for ice. New refrigerators for ice makers will charge a monthly subscription for continued ice units. The cost will be 525, which is over 700, which is over $7,500, and blah blah blah. So um, you know, it sounds like it's too far fetched, but it's not. All right, you're gonna need, and I just Google. This is a Google search. I'm not going super in depth in it, but I just want to show you this is an unrighteous decree that they use lobbyists to pass stuff like this to be able to do this. All right, and what in turn is this gonna do? It's gonna put more stress on the poor because like you build a society where you need a refrigerator, right? Because you don't use the old technology of heat dissipation, through sand and water and burying your stuff and things of that nature. You don't use those methods that didn't cost any money. You use methods that cost a lot of money. Okay, using electricity. You can basically say paying your power bill is a subscription, right? Because you got to pay it every month, right? So you're already paying, for the refrigerator. You're paying for power, and now they're hooking and you can say to yourself, well, why does a refrigerator need fucking Wi-Fi installed into it? Well, if it was for the sake of charging you for something, that would make sense because the Wi-Fi would be used as a tool of measurement to measure how you're using this particular device. You see, so it's not far fetched for them to do this. All right, so let's go back to the scriptures. What? All right. So woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and this is, like I said, they use lobbyists and they use this devil used lobbyists and he used different systems that he puts in place because he has the money, right? To to force compliance on people for things that they don't want. Insurance, for instance, you're paying a astronomical. I remember when insurance was like $20 for the month, $45 for the month, and it was printed on paper. You didn't have to get digital insurance, and they link it to the state to make sure you have it. That wasn't even a thing, okay? But now it's a thing because the people that are in charge are greedy and they want their money or they're going to make it to where you can't travel, which traveling is literally a right, you know? But anyway, let's continue on. All right. It's not going to be super long, just a quick hit. So I'm going to go to James 5 and 1. It says, go now, you rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. You see? So y'all, you rich men uh, that have been able to amass these massive amounts of wealth, the Lord is saying you're gonna howl because the misery is gonna come upon you. It says your riches are corrupt, your garments are moth-eaten. How did you obtain those riches? Did you get it through righteous means, or did you rob people? Did you commit wars for it? Right? Did you starve people out and steal lands and wealth? Well, I think you stole lands and wealth. All right. It says your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rest of them should be a witness against you. Yeah, because how did you get it? How did you get all that gold and silver? How did you get all that wealth? Okay, you lied, you stole, you cheated, you killed, you murdered, right? You oppressed people to steal their wealth, and that's still happening to this very day. And then you put systems and unrighteous decrees in play to make it to where people will stay under your foot, okay? Where they have no choice but to comply, or you control the systems to force compliance. All right. So everything that you put in place with the unrighteous money that you've obtained, the wickedness that you've obtained, used to obtain this wealth, is going to be a witness against you. It's like a thief getting caught with the gold he stole, with the money he stole. Okay, and that's you. How did you get all this? All right, there's no way. And it says, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it was fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. You see? Yeah. And this is why, because we're in the last days. We're at the end of Esau's kingdom because he's an unfit ruler, right? This damn devil he'll oppress his own. In a world of plenty, he'll feed people. Okay, he'll use cadavers and shit. This is how terrible this man is, right? Just so he doesn't have to spend money on, and you're already super rich. you're already super rich, and you're making it to where, you know, in the products and stuff that you sell, there are fillers in the products to make it to where you don't have to spend as much money on actually selling people what you actually say they're buying. You know, what's really you're buying is a whole bunch of fillers and shit like that. It says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who reap down your fields, which you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reached are which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth." All right. Now look, if I go here, I'm gonna go to chat. I'm gonna go to Chat GPT. It may give me a more a better answer, and I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up because I gotta go to work. I just wanted to get the quick one in. Um, let's see what it says. Let's see. I forgot the way I asked this question before. All right, this is it right here. It's something similar, but um, as you said, one adult with no children, $25 to $30 an hour. Two adults with working children. One adult with two children. This is the one that I came across before. You know, I said a living wage in America with uh, there it is. There it is. Bare minimum covers essentials, $25 to $30 an hour. Comfortable, $35 to $50 an hour. Comfortable with children, $50 to $75 an hour. That's what I wanted. It was how I was asking the question. Okay. So do you see how much money you have to make in this society today to live comfortably? Bare minimum covers comfortable with children. Okay. So the bare minimum, just to bare make it to lights, gas, housing, food, water supplies, right? Car insurance, gas, just a bare minimum, right? You're paying uh you're getting paid $25 to $30 an hour. Bare minimum. Right? Comfortable, 35 to 50. Comfortable with children, $50 to $75 an hour. Right? That's what an average person should make in America. But then you have these people, these people in power that go and they lobby to be able to steal your wages, because two ways they steal is through wages and through well, it's a few ways, but to name a few: inflation. I mean, the wages, the wage disparity, not paying you what you're supposed to get paid. They, keeping your wage down, right? The next thing is through inflating the prices of things. Okay, so basically inflation. So they steal from you, and then taxation. So they steal from you in a lot of different ways. All right, and it's all done to make it to where because that's your labor is actually very valuable. All right, that's why doing this work is very valuable. It's more valuable than what you think. If you understood how much money one person makes a company, especially if they're working efficient, you'd be like, wow, they're making a lot of money off you. Just imagine in a year, if they're paying you $50,000 a year, okay, they're making like 20 to 50 times that off of your labor. Okay, they're making a lot of money off of one person. All right, so let's go ahead and finish and wrap this up. So, so we just close out on this because I got to go to work, and I probably might, come back into it and do another video on this. But this is Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands." Okay, so these people have the ability to do this evil shit to you because they have the power to. They have the ability to. They have control over the government. Okay, and they think of different mischievous ways to steal and take from the poor, to rob the needy, right, and the widows, to take those things that you need, actual literal. Because you know what, I'm gonna close out on this rock because it really goes into the effect of how when they steal from you, how it affects you. It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." Right? And that's these so-called white people out here, right? That's what they do. They go into your land for oil. They go into your land for minerals. They go into your land for crops. Okay, whatever it is that could potentially be profitable, they'll go into your land and they'll steal it, and then they'll oppress the people of the land and take your shit and say, these are the crumbs that you deserve. This is the nature of this man. Okay, and in the video, it was very fitting that she used the pigs, and in one part of the video, I was like, oh wow.
And the host brings out 100 slices of pizza. But before anyone can grab a plate, one single guy, let's call him Chad the billionaire, swipes 30 slices for himself, far more than he could ever actually eat. The next 9 guys split 40 slices. That leaves the remaining 90 of you to share the last 30 slices. But it gets worse. The wealthier folks in that group swipe almost all of it, leaving the bottom 50 people in the room to fight to the death over just 2 tiny, cold, greasy slices. That is 25 starving people per slice, while Chad's massive pile slowly rots. Welcome to the United States of America, where this isn't a bad dream.
You remember she said Chad's pile slowly rots. Their gold and silver's cankered. It's rotten. Okay? And it's a witness against them for stealing from everybody else. Now, there was a part where they were on a boat and
It's our actual macroeconomic reality.
they had the body of a so-called white man, but the face of a. You notice that there ain't no Jakes up here. They're all pink-fleshed examples. Okay, so you see that, right? So they're pointing you into the direction of who this is. So let me go ahead and let me bring out this last precept, and then I'm gonna close out. So 16, 11. All right. So this one we're gonna go to the book of Sirach because it shows you the effect of or Ecclesiasticus. It shows you the effect of the greed, like how their greed affects people. So Sirach 34, and this is why they're trying to put a digital system in place so they can shut off people's ability to buy and sell and eat and drink so they can stay in compliance with them. All right. That's why things are going to get super bad. It says, the bread of the needy is their life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him. He that defrauded the labor of the hire is a bloodshedder. And that's what you do. I just showed y'all the disparities of what it would cost to live comfortably in this country. Okay? You go to McDonald's and I'm not saying that I go to McDonald's, but when people go to McDonald's, they buy a burger, right? That worker that served them that burger is getting paid trash, but this company's making hundreds of billions of dollars off of the laborers that caused their company to flourish. You see what I'm saying? So you're a bloodshedder because you defraud the people of their right. And you heard it in the video. She said, that leaves the bottom 50% to fight over the the cold greasy slices, right? You've already taken 97, percent of the actual wealth, and now it's way more of us than it is of you by far, and yet you're hoarding all of the resources and all the wealth to yourself. Okay? And then I work for you and you don't even pay me correctly. You think about, because you have the power in your hand, you think of different ways to rob me of my wages. That's Esau, that's the Edomite. Okay? To rob me of my hire, to not pay me so you can keep the money, because Esau has always been the type to want slaves. He's always been the type to not want to do the shit himself and be lazy. He's always been the type to want to steal what somebody else has because he wanted. I was watching a video of this black chick. She said, and which was very true. She said, you can have a black guy and a white guy, right? And they can have all the same exact shit. He got a wife. The black dude got a wife. The white dude got a wife. The black dude got the so-called, right? So-called has a nice car. The white dude got the same nice car, just different color, right? So everything is pretty much identical. But the Edomite is going to look over at the Jake and say, there's something that he got that I don't have. And that's the birthright, okay? But that's another story for another day. But this devil is never satisfied with anything that he has. He wants to always take from everybody else. All right? So with that, I'm ended up by giving all praises going on or two. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakal Kadash. Until the next time, Akim, I say Shalom.